Hi, Donna.
The bounty is soon upon us, so what should we be keeping in mind when we're choosing a wine for Thanksgiving?
Well, I think there's so many flavors on the table that you can't go wrong. It's not something to stress out about. So you can, of course, match with the turkey if you like. That's the main event. But there's so many other side dishes that I think there's room for just about any type of wine that you like.
You used to hear that you pair fowl with white wine and so on, but is that still the case?
No, it doesn't have to be at all because, these days we're cooking all kinds of dishes, including very traditional Thanksgiving dinner in different ways. So some people like to, have a citrus stuffing, which is going to be a much juicier kind of bird with, citrus highlights. In that case, I probably would go with, say, a bright Riesling from the Okanagan Valley or a Sauvignon Blanc. But if you want, a more of a Mediterranean style or dark herbs or whatever with your turkey, or even if you're going for a different kind of bird like a goose or something like that, then I'd go for a juicy red wine like a Pinot Noir. Again, the Okanagan does that well as well.
Mm-hmm. And you, of course, have your top 10 list for Thanksgiving. Where should we begin, Natalie?
Well, you can look around the world. I have mentioned just now a couple of wines from BC. If you want to go white, then you can look for a very juicy, mouth-watering white. And so there are your Rieslings, your Sauvignon Blancs, but even like a California Chardonnay will do well with the voluptuous dishes like the mashed potatoes and the sweet potatoes and the cream corn, that sort of thing. But there are lots of red wine lovers, and so you won't be forgotten at the table. A Zinfandel from California will work. Low tannin, meaning it's, doesn't have that mouth-furry feeling that you can get from Cabernet Sauvignon. So it's going to go well with the turkey as well. Zinfandel tends to be very juicy, purple plums, berries, that sort of thing. Now, it's a dry wine, but it has the perception of fleshy fruit flavors, which is exactly what you want if your turkey is on the dry side, and it is at our house the way we cook it. We're always fixing
it
our
certainly is at mine.
Yeah, exactly. It's just naturally a dry bird. I mean, there's lots of things you can do to juice it up, but I find wine is one of the easiest ways to fix that one.
Your rule of thumb is if the meat is somewhat dry, then you go with a juicier wine and vice versa, right? Exactly,
and that's why Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a very dry wine, tends to go with a juicy red rare steak. So, the reverse is true as well.
Why don't we just name some names, things that people couldn't go wrong with if they wanted to serve them at their Thanksgiving table?
Okay, well, I did start in the Okanagan Valley with Mission Hill, which makes a range of wines, by the way, from very modestly priced right up to their top of the line, which is, I think, about $70, and recently made my top 10 list for top BC wines. But the one I've recommended is their Pinot Blanc, which is only $15 in Alberta, widely available. It's fresh, it's vibrant, it's going to go with that turkey and the side dishes in a lovely way. And then I jumped over to Ontario. Mike Weir, Sauvignon Blanc. That is the Mike Weir of the golfing fame. And
wow.
Yeah.
What he does in his off-season.
Exactly. So this wine will not only pair with turkey, but also a hole-in-one. Not in the turkey, but, oh, never mind. So it'll be there with the side dishes. It's just a nice touch. It's a great wine, and all the profits from his wine goes to his children's charity, which is just a lovely gesture at Thanksgiving, I think.
Always a good reason to open another bottle, I say.
Exactly. You got to do good to do well. Sterling Chardonnay from California is just layers of buttery richness, and it's a smoky, toasty, oaky Chardonnay, perfect for mashed potatoes and the sweet corn. You can go over to Spain and get a very crisp, vibrant Albarino, lesser-known grape, and you're not going to pay a lot for that one. That one's just $17. Should mention that most of these wines that I'm listing here are all under $20. They're all available in Alberta. And, of course, I think you're going to post them on your website so people can find them afterwards.
We most certainly are.
Okay, so moving right along then, we're back to the Okanagan Valley with Jackson Triggs Okanagan Estate Grand Reserve Shiraz. A spectacular wine. It's, I think, one of Canada's best. Again, it's in my top 10 list.
And you would serve that with your turkey?
I would. Shiraz is like Zinfandel in that it's not really volcanic. So it's bursting with big, black, juicy plums. Lots of flavor, but it's still mouth-watering. And it's not going to dry out your mouth or the turkey. So it's great.
Great. And you've got another Zinfandel to follow the Shiraz there, Natalie.
I do. A Beringer from California. And this is an amazing value. It's just $12. Again, lots of purple plums and blackberries rolling across your palate as you groan with pleasure at the Thanksgiving table. Goes well with turkey and some of the meatier side dishes. We've got a Wolf Blass Merlot from Australia at just $16. And Merlot, of course, is a very smooth, almost soft jazz wine. It's the one they didn't like in that movie Sideways, but it's a beautiful red wine, underrated now that Pinot has taken over. We've got another Shiraz from Rosemount in Australia. Again, very similar in flavor, but another choice at $15. And then we've got Ménage à Trois red wine from California. Ménage à Trois being a very naughty French name, is all about things done in threes. So this would be a blend of Zinfandel, Merlot, and Cabernet. And because the Zinfandel and Merlot are in there, they're softening the Cabernet. So again, it's a great fleshy red. I've also included Persuasion, Dragon Blend by one of your hometown girls, Arlene Dickinson, on the show Dragon's Den. She's got her own wine now, and it's widely available in Alberta. In fact, that's where it's most available. And it's fantastic. It's pricier. It's $40, but I rated it 93 points out of 100. It's from California, actually. And although it's leads with Cabernet, it's very, very smooth red because it's got some other grapes in that blend. So again, it's a great way to toast locally, if you will, to local talent at the Thanksgiving table.
And you would probably pair that Persuasion with something other than turkey for Thanksgiving dinner, Natalie?
Yeah, well, you could if you're going to have goose, or even if you're going to go non-traditional. Some people are just not into the fowl for Thanksgiving. So, a nice prime rib or a roast or grilled pork chops would be wonderful. Lamb with rosemary would be a perfect pairing. So, we don't have to stick to tradition. We just have to stick to what pleases us.
Would you serve different wines, different stages in the meal, for instance? Would you serve something lighter at the beginning or darker? What would you suggest?
I would. Given the opportunity, I'll serve as much wine as I can, within, of course, moderation. But, it's always nice to start off with a sparkling wine, such as maybe Sumac Ridge from the Okanagan, or Henry of Pelham, which is also available in Alberta from Ontario.
Is that like a Canadian version of champagne?
Exactly. So it's got the same grapes and the same method as champagne, but it's about a third of the price or less. So these are about $25, which is a bargain for bubbly, for sparkling wine. And it whets your appetite, literally. It gets the juices running before the meal as that turkey is just finishing cooking. And of course, you can start off the meal with a toast to friends and family around the table. So it's a really nice touch for Thanksgiving dinner. And then I would move into the drier table wines, still dry table wines like your Pinot Noir or your Riesling or whatever you're going to pair. But we have lots of side dishes on the table, and we tend to help ourselves. Why not do that with the wines? So, have a few bottles on the go. Let people help themselves and mix and match. It could be fun.
Natalie, thank you so much.
All right.